So, and it doesn't really matter what kind of shortening you use. So.
Okay, so
All right.
after the shortening is?
After the shortening, you're going to put in 2 cups of sugar, and this is already pre-measured, and so we are going to put the 2 cups of sugar in.
So sugar gives it flavor, I guess? And
the sugar
cavities.
And the almond extract. Yeah, cavities. Okay, and then next we are going to do the 4 eggs, and always make sure that you do not crack eggs into the big bowl. You want to always crack them into a smaller bowl.
So why would you crack them into a smaller bowl?
Well, if the shell cracks into the larger mixing bowl, it will be kind of hard to get out.
Yes, I agree. And you need 4 eggs, right?
4 eggs. Yep.
Because like in chocolate chip cookies, you only need like 2.
Right.
That's why you need it over the thing. Okay, so where are you looking forward to Christmas break?
Definitely.
Have you got all your shopping done and everything?
No. We haven't gotten our shot. Well, I got some of it done, but not all of it. Okay. And after you put the eggs in, you're going to take 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Got 1/8. And
so there's all different sizes.
There's a lot of different sizes, and you always want to make sure that you read the recipe correct, because a lot of times people will put in 1 tablespoon when they're supposed to put in 1 teaspoon, or vice versa. Okay, after the salt, you're going to put 2 tablespoons of milk in.
And
2 tablespoons, all right.
So, is it good to have it pre-measured?
Yes, it is. Actually, it's easier to have it pre-measured.
It helps you out a lot.
So, Lindsay, are you looking forward to Christmas too?
Very much.
Very much. What do you hope to get?
I want CDs. That's my major thing to get. Candles and CDs is my favorite. So.
Cool.
All right, after we're done with the milk, we take 1 teaspoon of almond extract. Let's find 1 teaspoon. Here we go.
So if you're reading the label, how would you know the difference between tablespoon and teaspoon?
Well, the tablespoon, which is bigger than a teaspoon, is labeled with a big T, and the teaspoon, which is the littler one, is labeled with a small t.
That makes sense, I guess.
All right.
So do you cook a lot?
Yeah, actually, I like to bake.
Do you, Lindsay?
Yes, I bake at home a lot.
Okay, and then we're going to take our flour. We can take this, and if you have pre-sifted flour, it's okay to put it in, and you don't have to sift it, but you do need to spoon it. If you do not have pre-sifted flour, then it's really a good idea to sift your flour. So we're going to put the flour in.
Rachel Hazelton, if you're in the building, please report to the main office. Rachel Hazelton, if you're in the building, please report to the main office.
Okay, so.
And after that, we are going to put in, this is our last ingredient, and it's 2 tablespoons of baking powder.
And why not baking soda?
Baking flour is actually a good ingredient to use other than baking soda. It will make your cookies rise more than baking soda. And you'll always be able to tell how much it's going to rise with baking powder.
So what's baking powder good in? Like any special thing?
Cookies, muffins, stuff like that.
Always make sure that you level out your ingredients.
Yes.
So that you don't put too much or you don't put too little in.
And remember, if you're under 10 and you're watching this, have adult supervision because she's using a knife. So don't cut yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
That was our last ingredient, and then we are going to just mush it up a little, and then we'll take the spatula out, and we will then put it, you can, also you don't need to put this in a mixer, but you can also do it by hand.
But we're modern, we like mixers. It would take longer than...
It does take longer to mix it.
So what's your favorite thing to bake when you're just baking for fun?
When I'm just baking for fun, it's usually brownies, because my dad likes brownies, and then I can get on his good side, so here we go.
What do you like baking, Lindsay?
I like baking brownies too. It's my favorite, me and my mom's.
I like chocolate chip cookies. Just
Okay.
kind of boring, but they're
All right, and then you're
good.
going to pull up the mixer and then start it.
Should you mix it on high or low? Or
Usually on low so that it doesn't spill all over, especially if you're young. If you're young, then you don't want it to get all over the kitchen. But
So, do you have any classes, baking classes, when you're at school?
you do. You have 1/4 of home ec.
Is it called home ec still?
No, actually, it's called Family and Consumer Science. That was like a national change. They changed that.
So, have you either of you had home ec yet, or family and consumer science?
I haven't had it yet. And when you're mixing this, you want to stop it once in a while, just so that you can get the stuff that's on the sides. You can
Pat it out.
Yeah, because then you want to make sure it's all mixed together.
Yeah.
Okay. How long does it generally take to make the whole cookies?
It generally takes maybe about a half an hour to get when you get all of it done and all of it baked and stuff. And then if you want to decorate your cookies, which is also something I really like to do, then it'll take an extra about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how you decorate them.
So, are there different shapes in which you could make cookies? Because all the cookies I have are just round.
Yes, there's a lot of shapes you can make your cookies in, and right now I'll show you some of them. You can I'm sure at your local stores they'll have this is called a just like a cookie gun, and you can put the shape you like right here. They come with shapes that and there's almost any kind of shape you can think of. You stick it in here, roll it up.
And were these made from the cookie gun?
These are made from the cookie gun. And then you open this one up, put your dough inside here.
Or frosting.
Or you can also do this with frosting, that's right. And then you shoot your cookie in there, and it comes out with like whatever shape you do. Like here is a tree. It'll come out looking like this. And those are really neat cookies. And these ones we dyed. We dyed the dough on them, and so they turned out like this. And these ones are pretty cool. They're multicolored. So the cookie gun is really fun to use when you're baking.
I agree. So, are you almost done mixing?
Yep, I think we're almost done.
So now do you just stick them on a pan? Can you just grab a pan out?
Well, you first need to here. I'll show them how to do this. You need to make sure that when you're doing this, you grease your pan. So
what do you grease it with, like?
just cooking spray, just like that. And you want to make sure that you hold it away from yourself or other people, or especially like the walls in your home, because it can stain. So
Okay.
all right, and I think our cookies are done. Our cookie dough is done. And so I'm going to stop the mixer.
So are you going to put these on by hand or with the cookie gun?
We'll do them both. Like, we can do them both.
Okay. So if you're not doing it with the cookie gun, can you still make them in other shapes?
Well, if you're not using the cookie gun, you can use there's stencils and stuff that are made for cookies, and there's also like you can shape a cookie by hand if you don't want to use cookie gun. So, all right, I think our dough's ready. Lindsay will take it out for us. Now I'll show you how to make it by hand, and then Lindsay can show you the cookie gun. Just set it off to the side.
So it's probably not a good idea to like lick the cookie dough because
because it's got raw eggs, and those are harmful to your body. So you don't usually want to lick the bowl or the spoons or anything. Now,
but they do taste really good.
They do taste good, and it's very tempting. Now first, I'll do the regular way of taking your cookie dough. Now you can usually
make sure you wash your hands.
Right, wash
first.
your hands. You need to wash your hands, and then you take just about, I'd say about this much dough. It's about good. You roll it between your palms so it makes a little ball.
Cute.
Now when you're making sugar cookies, Sometimes you can like either use a glass or whatever, but you want to flatten the cookie obviously before you put it in. And so we'll take the sugar here, and you can take the cookie after you've rolled it. You kind of put it up there in the sugar. And sometimes it's easier to use a glass, the bottom of a glass, to press it down, but I'm just going to use my hands right now. You're just going to press it down. And your cookie can be however big you want it. If you want it to be a little cookie, then you don't press down as hard. If you want it to be a bigger cookie, you don't, you do it
There's a glass.
little. Now, yeah, I'll show you how to do it with a glass. Take a little bit more cookie dough.
So are you looking forward to taking family and consumer science?
I actually am. I think it's a lot of fun to bake, and it's probably going to be one of my favorite classes.
Lindsay?
Probably one of mine too, since I like to cook a lot.
Yeah, now you can either take your cookie dough and roll it around, or sometimes I will wet the bottom of the cup and I'll stick it in the cookie dough or in the sugar and then flatten it down. But here we'll just flatten it.
So,
Flatten it down like
a cool
that.
way.
Yeah, it's nice and not messy. Okay, and now Lindsay will show you how to use the cookie gun.
Okay, when you use a cookie gun, you don't want to like stuff it. You want to basically just get a little bit with the spatula. You know that is.
So, just how much dough? Like this size dough or like a whole bunch of dough?
The cookie gun will separate it as you punch through. And sometimes there's a separator in it.
And you can use like a lot of different shapes. Right now we're doing a person. You know, it doesn't matter what kind of shape you use. You can be very creative.
Shapes.
Yep.
All different kinds. So, do you hope Santa Claus brings you? What do you think he should want?
I don't know what Santa Claus is going to bring me, actually. I guess I really haven't thought about what I wanted for Christmas. My mom and my dad usually do a pretty good job of picking out what they think I might like.
So, are you ready with the cookie gun?
Yep, we are. Ready?
Almost.
Close. So, what do you generally have you gotten in other years that you've liked?
What that I've liked? Well, when I was 4 years old, I remember Christmas morning going downstairs, and under the tree was Barbie's Dream House. When I was 4, I was really into playing with Barbie dolls, and so I really enjoyed my Barbie Dream House. So that was one of my good memories. When I was 6, I got one of those little motorized Tonka convertibles that you can drive around in, which was really fun. So.
Okay.
All right.
Now with the cookie gun, the cookie dough is inside the tube, and there's a little thing at the end that you press this and push it down until it can't go any further.
Okay.
Then simply what you do is you push it down
And it'll just come
and
out.
lift up.
Yep, then it comes out a little person.
And the bottom you're using right now is a person?
Yep.
Yes.
Shows out to be a little person. And those are really fun. You can make all kinds of different shapes.
See?
Yep.
It's a little
There's
person, like a little gingerbread man.
There's his head and arms, legs, almost little tummy.
How easy is it to change bottoms? Do you have to
Oh,
like...
it's very, very easy. It's not that much work at all. You unscrew the bottom like so. And then this pops out. And if you ever want to get a new one, which I don't see one around, you just place it in the bottom
Okay.
and screw it back on.
And also, when you're using the cookie gun, there are plastic ones and metal ones. And when you're using a plastic cookie gun, you need to make sure that the inside is plastic. And when you're using like a metal one, you need to make sure that your stencil is metal, because it'll mess up the cookie if it's not.
All right. Well, we're ready to
I
bake?
think we are ready to put our cookies in the oven. All right.
Okay. Well, we'll be right back in a minute or two after this public service announcement to see how some cookies turned out.
Okay.
Wherever you go, you see the signs. A new century is coming, and with it, 1,000 questions. Will there be peace, Will your family ever be in harm's way? Will a small town in Texas be hit with a hurricane? Will your daughter ever need a new kind of blood treatment? Will that nice man who hands you the paper ever need a hand to hold in a time of need? We have no crystal ball for the world that awaits, just one promise. We'll be there, whether it's in the eye of the storm, in your darkest hour, in your time of need, or in the light of day. We'll be there.
Welcome back to What If. During the break, we messed with our cookies a bit, so why don't you tell them what we did?
Okay, we preheated the oven to 400 degrees, and we put the cookies in for a maximum of 10 minutes. Now, after about 8 minutes or so, you should probably check on your cookies to make sure that they're not burning. But always make sure that you use the proper utensils when you're taking out your cookies so that you don't burn yourself.
Lindsay?
Okay, now, like Aimee said, you always need hot pads to take it out because you don't really want to burn yourself. That'd be a little bad.
Good point. And we did dye the little men pink.
Yes, we dyed our men, and you can use just regular food dye, and you can dye them any color that you want. It's really your choice.
And here is the finishing product.
They look good.
So,
now the 8th graders during the break snagged our other little men because, well, we make good cookies.
Yeah.
So that's why there's one missing, but that's okay. Now we're going to start decorating our cookies, which is also, you can decorate your cookies however you want. You need frosting and any other like sprinkles or little cinnamon things that you might want.
now you don't always have to use frosting and all sprinkles and all that, but you can always use color dye like we did with our little men here. Okay, so we're gonna fool around a little bit and mess with our cookies.
Okay, this is called a metal spatula, just kind of like, it looks almost like a knife, and you can take it and spread the frosting on your cookies.
Now, is this homemade frosting or?
Yes, it was homemade. And me and Aimee messed around and made it before, so it comes in handy.
And you don't have to go out and buy it.
Yeah, waste your money.
Yeah, and it can be used with most of the items that you have around your house.
Yes.
It's very easy.
Does it come in colors besides white?
You can make it with the color dye again. You can make it blue, yellow, purple, any color really, and you can also make it multicolored like we did our cookies.
Okay, and then you can start, you can take, we have two types of sprinkles. We have multicolored and green, and then we have these little cinnamon dots. You can take and do whatever really you want. You can sprinkle little sprinkles on them.
Christmassy, yes.
Yeah, that kind of Christmassy.
Or birthday party sort of thing.
You can put little dots all over them. And with your little men, you could color
Buttons.
the icing, as she said, and you can put icing on your little guys, like on their little bellies. So you can put icing on
Cinnamon
them.
dot would be like a button.
Yes.
Yes, you can put.
Cool.
And if you're not going to use your sprinkles when you decorate, sprinkles, if you're not going to use frosting when putting on sprinkles, you usually want to put the sprinkles on right when they come out of the oven, because if you don't, they won't stick on. They won't stick to the cookie.
Okay.
So, and then we can decorate the rest of these. And it doesn't, you can make little faces, or
Yeah, Lindsay's
just kind of
really
fun
good
things.
at that.
And tie, make a face. Make a face.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, you always want to let the cookies cool off before you do this.
So are you doing a design or just a?
I might just do sprinkle stuff on. And Aimee, if you want to help, you can.
Yeah. So, do you like cookies? Do you prefer them with icing or without?
I like them both. I love cookies all the way around.
So can this icing be used for like cakes?
Yes, it's used on cakes, brownies, anything that you really want to put icing on.
Usually homemade icing is a lot tastier than the icing that has been sitting in the store for you don't know how long.
So could you dye the icing
Yeah.
before?
You can dye it in like these colors come in blue, yellow, red, and green. And so it doesn't matter really how you want to dye it. It's your creation.
Mr. Long, you have a phone call on line 3. Mr.
Just
Long,
freeze.
phone call on line 3.
Now you can use you can make faces on them, like faces here.
Those are a lot of fun to do. If you think about being creative, you can do faces. And around Christmas time, it's a lot of fun to make little Santas with beards and everything. It's a lot of fun.
Well, we have some more cookies that were baked a little bit beforehand. And here, I'll get one of those. And Lindsay can show us another way to dye one of those. Decorate one of these.
Okay.
Do you have a special way you like decorating them?
Not really. I just do all sorts of stuff with them. Just do anything that pops in my head.
So, is your birthday coming up soon?
My birthday's in March, so I guess you could say it's coming up.
And how old will you be in March?
13.
I'll be 13.
Ooh, when's your birthday?
Mine's not till June, so I've got kind of a long ways to go.
You'll be 13 in June then?
Yes, I'll be 13.
I won't be 13 till a long time.
Okay, and as you can see, I made a little face on our guy with some of these little cinnamon little candies, and I just sprinkled some sprinkles on it. You can put noses on your guys, and a lot of times I'll take like sprinkles and make little beards for like my cookies, and they're really cute. Those of you out there who are very creative, I'm sure you can find a lot of ways to make your cookies look very nice.
Well, that about wraps it up with us here today. If you have any questions, comments, or would like to be on the show, please write to me at What If, care of Aimee O'Malley, 812 Roanoke, Springfield, Illinois, 62702. I would also really like to thank our guests, Lindsay Bacon and Aimee Linston.
Thank you.
For being here on the show today. And you can catch the show again on the first and third Thursdays of the month. So long. Hi, my name's Aimee and you're watching What If, the show that always finds the answers. Today, we're posing the questions, what if you were a bowling ball? And we're here at Spillway Lane with one of the mechanics here,
Greg,
and he's going to tell us a little bit about bowling. So, how do bowling balls get made?
Well, it all depends on what type of ball, that they have a mold, and if it's a rubber ball, they go through a furnace. It's really different.
And are all, like, hole sizes for your fingers, or are they the same, or?
No, if you own your own bowling ball, you usually have it custom drilled for yourself. House balls, they just drill randomly as far as smaller balls get smaller holes, and 16-pound balls get bigger holes.
Oh.
Just different sizes.
Okay, so what's your favorite part of bowling?
It's just fun, it's exciting, it's exercise.
Okay, so what happens after you roll the ball down there?
Well, hopefully you hit pins, and then the ball contacts a cushion, which triggers the machine. It goes up a ball wheel with the help of a ball lift, goes on a track, hits a booster, and the booster sends it back up to the front to a lift, and it lifts it back up to the bowling.
And how long does that usually take?
Approximately about 60 seconds.
So you could roll it and it'd be back to you through those little squishy things in a minute?
Yep, about a minute.
Okay, my dad said that he was a pin setter. What's the difference between that and how it works now?
Back before they came out with automated machines, they had guys that sat on the machines and jumped down and scooted the pins away that you knocked down and stand up the pins when they needed a full rack. They used to set them up by hand.
Oh, that's a lot harder.
Yes.
And how long would that take?
Well, I'm not really sure. I've never done that. But I imagine it would take a lot longer than what it does now.
Okay. So, how long does it take you to actually learn how to bowl very well? Or do some people naturally have it?
Some people naturally have it, but if everybody gets, if you practice a lot, you will always get better.
Do you have, like, special leagues or things that you can work on for your bowling?
Yeah, we have all types of leagues, adult leagues, junior leagues, women's leagues, senior leagues for senior citizens. So it's for every age group.
What is the, main kind of people who bowl? Children?
Just anybody. Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah, you can bowl from probably 3 years old on up to 90 or maybe 100.
Okay, so we're going to go in the back and see how the pin works, the ball goes, and how it gets reset, as he was mentioning before.
Welcome to a land of law, a place ruled by the dinosaur, where cactus-clad mountains spew lava and smoke and craters hide inquisitive folk, where wise old turtles share their views on creatures with red vests and powder blue shoes. There's so much to Galapagos, so much we could say. 'Twould be most preposterous if it all went away.
What do you want to leave your children? The story or the place that inspired it? Phone 1-800-CALL-WWF and help leave our children a living planet.
And we're back on What If. We're now in the back of a bowling alley, and we're here in the back where everything happened. So, what are all these parts here?
Okay, well this is the pinwheel, the ball wheel, the cross conveyor, the ball track. The ball, when it contacts the cushion down here, it hits this wheel, goes up the ball lift, goes around the track and down the booster, and it sends it underground straight to where you are up front.
So how many parts does
thousands.
So, how much do these cost?
When they were first put in here, probably about 10,000 a piece. Right now, I'm not really sure what a new one would cost.
Okay. Well, do you want to go down to this one? Okay.
Here's one actually running.
Here's an actually running one. And so when someone bowls, let's say what happens to balls that go in the gutter that you completely miss, like I sometimes do?
Well, they still come down just like they would hit a pin, but they don't contact the pin. They roll down through the gutter, hit the cushion, hit the machine, and then go back to the bowler just as if they would have hit the pin.
Okay. So, how fast do these machines
Pretty fast. They do have faster machines than what we have here.
Okay. Well, someone seems to be getting a lot of gutter balls here because no one's hitting the pin. So we have what's your best score in bowling?
My best score is 286 for bowling.
Out of how many possible points can you get?
The highest you can get is 300.
Oh, that's pretty good. How long have you been bowling?
I started bowling when I was around 12. So I'm
That's me.
38.
So that's I'm bad at math. So now we're gonna go back up front and see or be explained to how the holes are drilled in bowling balls. And we're back out here in the bowling alley. We just had a great look at what happens to the ball. And we're back with Greg here. And so, what advice would you give to kids who want to get into bowling?
Well, they could either come out and open bowl, or you can actually join a junior league. They have junior leagues out on Saturday mornings, and it's an organized league to where they can learn more. They have instructors that teaches them how to bowl, and they give them tips and pointers.
How would you get into something like that?
Well, just call the bowling alley and see if they have an opening, or see if, 546-5221, call Spillway Lanes.
Okay.
Just ask about it.
So, have you, do kids like bowling, or would you say that it's mostly kids or mostly adults who bowl here?
Well, it's a mixture. It's a lot of kids like bowling, but so do adults. So it's...
Yes. Well, thank you again so much
no problem.
for having us out here in this wonderful interview. And we'll be back in a minute with the next segment of What If. Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks.
Did you know drugs can really mess up your mind? I should know. I've been there. Drugs make me slow. They make it hard to keep up in school. After doing drugs, I'm totally burned out. So do me a favor and get it into your heads. Drugs are bad for your brain. So stay away from drugs.
Hi, I'm Aimee O'Malley, and you're watching What If, and we're back in the studio with Leslie Cornell. Leslie is a very experienced basketball player. She's played on Y Leagues for a couple years, and she's been playing on her school team for 2 years. Hi.
Hi.
So, let's get right down to it. Why do you play basketball and not something else?
Because I enjoy it. I like the action and the speed and the strength.
Okay. How long have you been playing basketball? I know, like...
I don't know, for a couple years, 6 or something.
And how old are you now?
12.
So you started when you were 6. That's
about right.
So do you want to play professionally, or do you think you will?
I'd like to play professionally, maybe. I don't know if I could get that far, but I'd like to.
Would you rather play in the NBA or the WNBA? Because
I'd probably rather play in the WNBA.
Okay. Do you like coaches? Do you change coaches all the time, or do you have one main person?
Well, for Y Leagues each year we get a different coach, and for each year at school we get a different coach, but we stay with the same coach all year, or throughout one season.
Cool. And how long do you have practice? Is a lot, or just like once in a while?
We have practices a couple times a week with a game included, and we practice about 2 hours each time.
Ooh, that's a long time. So what kind of drills do you do at practice?
We do shooting drills, running drills, energy drills, dribbling drills, and just
tongue twister. Which one do you hate doing the most? Like
running drills.
Running drills. Okay, are you like in championships, or do you have any even?
Yeah, usually, especially in the school league, at the end of the year or at the end of the season, there's a tournament, and it's, I believe, a round robin tournament, but I'm not sure. And
what's a round robin?
Well, the highest ranked team through the season will play the lowest ranked, and the second place team would play the second to least, and you'd go about doing that until you have 2 teams left that play in the actual championship.
Okay. So how far are you guys in the championships?
We have, our first game got rained out, and our second game is tomorrow, so we actually have not had a game yet.
Oh, okay. What do you enjoy most about playing basketball?
I like being I don't know. I like it all.
Do you like defense or offense or shooting?
I like shooting and offense more so than defense.
Do you know your highest points you scored in a game?
No.
Okay. Was it more than 2?
Yes.
Good job. All right. What do you like least about playing basketball?
I don't know if there's really anything that I don't really like, but I don't know. Sometimes there's a lot of fouls, and the competition is very heavy and
hard.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to ask this. Who is your favorite basketball star?
Scottie Pippen. Yes, definitely.
Really?
Yes. Actually, I have the same birthday as him, and he's always been my...
Cool. So, is your favorite team the Bulls, then?
Probably, yeah. I also like the Jazz.
Okay. What do you do in your free time when you're not playing basketball?
I play soccer and tennis also. And
very athletic. Okay, who's your idol? Who do you most want to be like?
I don't know.
Is it a basketball person or like a friend?
Well, I like some of the women in the WNBA have made very high accomplishments. They not only gotten into the WNBA, but they have other degrees and so.
What's your favorite maneuver to go under the legs, jump shot, whatever?
I like jump shots.
Jump shots? Me too. Those are usually the only ones I make. And do you travel when you're playing games?
We don't travel out of city yet. We do that. We start that next year. We'll start that next year.
And so where do you play? What school?
We play we practiced a lot at Grant and at Lincoln, and we play at Feitchens and Isles.
So what school do you go to?
I go to Lincoln.
The Lincoln Leopards. Okay, is your sport offered in high school? Do you know?
Yes.
It is?
And you can get even a scholarship, I believe, to go to college from basketball.
Totally awesome. Okay, well, thanks. You've been wonderful. Do you have anything else you want to share? Funny story?
No.
Anything? Cool story? Okay. Well, thanks for being on the show. We love you so much. And we have some clips of you we'll be showing sometime in the show. And thanks again. Bye. And we'll be back in a few moments with Kathleen Maher, who is a gymnast. And we're back with Kathleen Maher, and she is a gymnast, as you heard. And so, why did you take up gymnastics?
I took up gymnastics because I guess I just liked it and it seemed fun. So,
does anyone else in your family take gymnastics?
My little sister Danielle, who is 9 years old, used to do gymnastics.
How long have you been doing gymnastics?
I've been doing gymnastics since I was about 3. I started taking the classes when I was 3, and when I was 8 years old, I tried out for the competitive team, which travels. So, and I made it when I was 8. So,
good job. So, who's your favorite gymnastics star person?
I like Shannon Miller.
She's cool.
Dominique Marciano.
She's also cool.
Vanessa Atler.
She's definitely cool.
And just other people other gymnasts. Junior.
So, okay, sorry. When do you have practices a lot?
I have practices 3 times a week for 2.5 hours, I think, each from 5:30 to 8 on Tuesday and Thursday. And on Saturday, I have gymnastics from noon from 2:30.
Well, we have a tape, I think, from your practice. How would you if you wanted to show someone how to do a cartwheel? Is there any basic stuff you need to tell them?
I would tell them to make sure to just go hand, hand, foot, foot, which means just put one hand in front of the other, then the other hand, and then your foot and your other foot. I mean, don't go down. Yeah.
So,
just keep trying to do it.
Good advice. What's your favorite thing to do, floors, bar, vault, whatever?
My favorite events are bars and beam.
And have you ever gotten a perfect 10? Or do you
No,
not
I've
compete?
never gotten a perfect 10. I compete, but I've never gotten a perfect 10.
Do you know what your high score is?
I don't know what my highest score is, but it's probably around a 9, more or less a 9.
Good job. So, when you compete, how far do you have to travel?
I mostly stay around Illinois. Sometimes the farthest I've gone is pretty much Chicago. I'm going to Peoria pretty soon, Champaign, and Quincy, Illinois. So just around Illinois, pretty much.
So is this what you would wear, let's say, for a competition?
Oh, no. I would wear a leotard, which is it's a long-sleeved
bathing suit thingy, kind of?
Kind of like a bathing suit. It'd be
one piece?
Yeah, one piece. And it goes over your shoulders, usually. And it can be any different color, any color.
What's your colors?
My team colors are black and purple.
Lovely colors.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything else, stories you've had? Do you ever get hurt when you're performing?
Well, I don't usually get hurt. Sometimes I maybe fall and I get a bruise or something, but that's about it. I've never got hurt. Other people get hurt though. One girl just broke her elbow while she was on the bars.
Ow.
Yeah, so you have to be careful, to have mats and stuff. Not a hard surface like this.
Have you ever gotten hurt on hard surfaces?
Yeah, I've fallen when I've tried to do stuff on hard surfaces and it's hurt.
Yes. So, is your sport offered in high school or any other places?
Some high schools have gymnastics teams. I don't think Springfield High does, but there's college of gymnastics, so you can do it in college.
How do you feel about guys trying to do gymnastics? Do you think they're as good as you, or pretty bad, or good?
Well, some are better than me, but the team I'm on is a girls' gymnastics team, but like some boys are good. I mean,
where do you take gymnastics?
I take gymnastics at the YMCA, on the YMCA gymnastics team.
Cool. And who's your coach there?
My coach is Ann Wells, and there's other coaches like Courtney Miller and Sarah and Trudy Morris, and just different coaches. The main coach is Ann Wells.
Okay. How old do you have to be like on teams and competitive?
Different teams have different roles, but one little girl in our team, the youngest is 7 in our team. So I don't think you can get lower than 6 or 7.
Do you just like start on team, or do you have to take different classes and work up to it?
Most people have to work up to it and then try out for team, because there's like beginner, advanced beginner, intermediate, and then when a coach says you're ready to try out for the team, you could try out, or you could try out before that if you wanted to. And then if you made it, you'd start doing the compulsory routines, which are routines that they teach you and everybody in your level does them, like level 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And in level 7, you'd start making up your own routines.
So, you get to make up your own routines?
No, I'm in level 5, but I'm also training level 6. So I'm going to be level 6 when I'm in the spring.
Cool. So, well, do you have anything else? Any other?
Not really.
Well, thank you very much. And we have some clips of her doing some awesome stuff. And she's going to try some stuff here, so thanks a lot.